we need to talk about Caitlin Clark.
Yep.
So Caitlin Clark of Iowa, but now playing for Indiana in the WNBA, gets honored in time as the athlete of the year. I don't know. I guess they need a lot of covers or something. I mean, whatever. They just want people who are going to sell their shitty magazine. So she gets selected as athlete of the year. And what does Caitlin Clark do? Like this woman who's a superstar. She's the Michael Jordan of the WNBA. And she's become a phenom in part because the players of the WNBA can't fucking stand her. Why? Mm-hmm. Because she's white. It's abject, absolute racism. It's total racism.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Unfortunately, a day has come that I was hoping would not come, in which I would have to talk about Caitlin Clark going woke, okay? I knew that this would happen because there was indications that she was feeling a whole lot of pressure from the woke black women of the WNBA, her fellow colleagues, to come out here and to worship at the woke altar, to get on both knees and to worship the black women that, quote unquote, paved the way for her to be in the WNBA, okay? And that's exactly what she did in this interview with Time Magazine, in which she says, quote, "I want to say I've earned every single thing, but as a white person, there is privilege. This league has kind of been built on black players. The more we can elevate black women, that's going to be a beautiful thing." So clearly, this is her bending the knee, doing what she has been pressured to do by the powers that be in the WNBA, which again is to worship black women, right? Because that's what black women want, right? They want to be loved by white people so much, right? This is what they want, right? They want to be given credit for everything, okay? Even things that they really should not be given credit for, but that's what they want, okay? And Caitlin Clark is giving them what they want, and a lot of people upset. She's getting a whole lot of backlash for these comments. Like, for example, Megyn Kelly went off on Caitlin Clark on her show about these comments. Take a look.
So she gets this honor, and all she has to do is continue staying above it. Thank you. I'm grateful. Love being in the WNBA, and I love my colleagues who I play with, my teammates. That's it. Instead, she decides to go racial. And what she says is she feels the need to acknowledge her white privilege. Basically, she's sorry she's white. She feels really bad about it, though, so you should give her a pass. And then she makes a point of saying, the ones we really need to be celebrating are the black women on whose backs this league was built, which I have to tell you is so condescending.
It really
is.
It's
true that most of these black women have been bullying her and want her to understand it's their league. Hello, you don't own the league. Blacks don't own the league, just like whites don't own tennis or golf. Nobody owns the league. This is America. Anybody can play if they're good enough. But they want her on the knee. You'll bend the knee and you'll apologize for being white, and you will suck up to the black women who built this league before you, or you will be beaten. You will be assaulted and you will be bullied with no friends. So she does it. She finally did it. She bent the knee, self-flagellated over white privilege, and look at the black women in this league. And I have to tell you, if I were a black woman in that league, I think I'd say, screw you. Because don't treat me like I am the ugly stepsister and you are Cinderella, and no prince is going to look at me unless Cinderella says, oh, give her a little time. Oh, put her in the spotlight for a moment. I would be offended, genuinely offended by her. Like, look over there. Look at them. They're not white. They did a lot too. And here's the other thing. It's totally insincere. And here's how you know it's totally insincere. Because if Caitlin Clark really felt uncomfortable in the spotlight as the newbie who's white, because white people didn't build the league, she wouldn't have said yes to being Time Magazine's Athlete of the Year. So either walk the walk or don't. But what you're doing here is trying to have it both ways. You're too cute by half, and you've managed to piss off your fan base. Go ahead and look at my Twitter feed and the comments under my tweet on this. She's lost thousands of fans, maybe more, as a result of this. And you will never appease the race bullies in the WNBA, ever. because you're too popular, you're too talented, and too white. That's it.
Yeah, I think that Megyn Kelly is spot on. Okay, I think what is happening here is that Caitlin Clark is essentially bending the knee. She's saying, okay, I need to do the tap dance, right? As a so-called white person, I had to acknowledge that I have privilege. That the reason why I'm so popular, that people like me so much more than the black women, is because I'm white, and I must do my role as a good white person and to acknowledge the contributions of these black women, right? I think that Megyn Kelly 100% spot on, okay? And Caitlin Clark actually was asked about Megyn Kelly's comments, and Caitlin Clark essentially doubled down on her comments in Time Magazine when confronted about what Megyn Kelly said about her. Take a look.
Yeah, you know, your announcement for Athlete of the Year, like tremendous, incredible positive feedback. That's what we've seen across the board. There's always going to be some negativity. And I feel like you have had to answer more questions than anybody about the intersectionality of race and gender and sexuality in sport, because of just who you are, and you represent the growth of this thing. And even today, earlier today, Megyn Kelly, she was saying that you were apologizing for your white privilege and the fact that you wanted to uplift black female athletes and make sure that they were getting the shine, kind of like your pioneers were getting the shine that they deserved. And I just want to know how you feel or how you respond to some of those criticisms when you have to deal with something that it's really not your problem. Like, I feel like it's them looking in a mirror a little bit, but it still comes down on your shoulders.
I feel like I always have had really good perspective on everything that's kind of happened in my life, whether that's been good, whether that's been bad. And then obviously coming to the WNBA, like I've said, I feel like I've earned every single thing that's happened to me over the course of my career. But also, I grew up a fan of this league from a very young age. Like, my favorite player was Maya Moore. Like, I know what this league was about. And like I said, like, it's only been around 25 plus years. So I know there's been so many amazing black women that have been in this league, and continuing to uplift them, I think, is very important. And that's something I'm very aware of. And like I said, like, I try to just be real and authentic and, you know, share my truth. And I think that's very easy for me. Like, I'm very comfortable in my own skin. And that's kind of been how it is my entire life.
Yes.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. Okay, Caitlin Clark claims that she needs to share her truth, which is a red flag in and of itself, right? Anybody that comes out here and says, my truth, or I'm going to speak truth to power, right? Red flag, okay? And Caitlin Clark is showing that she is, in fact, woke, okay? Now, again, there were signs that she was going woke in the season when she started talking about how, you know, she doesn't condone any of her fans being racist and yada, yada, yada. But again, you know, part of me wants to give her the benefit of the doubt in the sense that even though I feel like America is on her side, Caitlin Clark's side, you got to understand that she is surrounded by these woke black women on a daily basis. They are her colleagues. They are the people that she plays basketball with. And, you know, when you are surrounded by these individuals, they tend to be the people that you associate with the most. So I guess for her, it's probably tough to be in a position that she's in as a superstar athlete, as basically the de facto face of the WNBA, as a white person who is, again, surrounded by a bunch of woke black women. She probably feels the need to play the game, right? To make the woke black women feel better about themselves and to make sure that they are getting credit and to be deferential towards them due to the fact that it probably makes her social life easier. That is where I think she's coming from, okay? So if I was to give her the benefit of the doubt, I would say, okay, well, she's probably doing it for survival purposes, okay? This is a survival mechanism. So, you know, you can't really blame her, but then at the same time, I just disagree with this message. Okay, I don't think that she should be sending a message that she is as popular as she is, or that she got where she is in life because she has privilege. Now, again, she tries to walk the fine line here and say, well, I feel like I've earned every single thing that I've gotten, but as a white person, there's privilege. Well, what that implies is that your superstardom, that the reason why you are where you are right now is not just because of your work ethic. It's not just because you essentially are the Steph Curry of the WNBA. Not just because you have a unique game that none of these other black players have. No. It's because you're white, right? Your whiteness plays into it. You're acknowledging that there is a form of racism that plays into your popularity, that you are more popular or that you have more clout than you otherwise would because you are white. And I personally reject it. I do not think that Caitlin Clark is who she is because of her whiteness. I think she is who she is because of her work ethic, in which she clearly works a lot harder than most of her colleagues, and she puts in that work day in and day out. And I think that she's taken away from that by coming out here and playing the race game. I do not think that this is a good example to set for the young women and the young girls who follow Caitlin Clark, for them to be influenced by somebody that's saying that, well, you can work really, really, really hard, but you can never really enjoy your success without acknowledging that, hey, some of it comes because of your white privilege, okay? And if you are in a league or in some type of institution or some type of setting that's predominantly black, if you've made it in a so-called predominantly black space, then you also have to make sure that you give credit to those black women that came before you, even though those black women were a failure at making the WNBA relevant. And again, that's my problem with what Caitlin Clark is saying. She says that the league has been built by black players. That may be true, but that's not really saying much due to the fact that the league, at least up until this point, has been a failure. It has been subsidized by the NBA. It has been losing money every single year, and it is as popular as ever now. It has a chance to actually be a profitable league, not because of the black players that came before Caitlin Clark, but because of Caitlin Clark, okay? And I think that she should embrace that. There's ways in which you can give credit to everybody else in the league without having to racialize it. She could have came out here and said, yeah, I believe that everybody has played their part in making the league what it is. She didn't have to racialize it and to give this special deference to black women, right? She didn't have to do that, because again, those same women that she's trying to please so much, hey, it doesn't matter how much you suck up to them, they're still going to resent you because you're white and you're popular, right? So you can play this game all you want, but behind closed doors, they're always still going to say, well, I don't like that white girl because she's more popular than me and she's white, right? That is what they think. And that's not going to change just because you are kissing up to them in public. I'm just saying. And ultimately, I think that Caitlin Clark here is playing a dangerous game, in the sense that if she pisses off her own fans to the point where they say, you know what, we're not going to support her anymore, then that's going to damage the WNBA as a whole. Now, the other players may not be smart enough or intelligent enough to realize that going woke, that trying to force Caitlin Clark to be woke is not good for the business of the WNBA as a whole, and all of this pandering to black women is not good for the business. But you would think that Caitlin Clark would be smart enough to realize that, hey, for the good of the WNBA as a whole, let me stay neutral. Let me not play this game. Let me just go out here and to put on my best performance, and just, again, to be neutral. Stay out of politics. Don't really speak on social issues. Just focus on what has made Caitlin successful up until this point. But, you know, I really do think that this is a survival mechanism. Ultimately, at the end of the day, we will see how fans will respond. Will fans actually care about this? A lot of people upset about this. I just think that Caitlin Clark here is playing a dangerous game. I think that she needs to seriously reevaluate how she's going to approach these interviews and how she's going to approach social issues that she will be asked about. She's better off staying neutral. She's better off not diving into politics, because going woke is the last thing that she should want to do if she actually really cares about these black players. Again, the black players aren't smart enough to realize that this is not good for the league when you have somebody like Caitlin Clark coming out and saying something like that, and she should be smart enough to realize that as well too. But hey, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a black conservative perspective. Peace.